Oklahoma weather can dish out some of the worst punishment in the world. Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Tuttle. But now you can fight back by installing Class 4 impact-resistant shingles from Ferguson Roof Systems. These shingles can withstand large hail, heavy rain, and hurricane-force winds, all while keeping your home safe and dry. And the best part? This upgrade is completely free for many homeowners. So call today to start reaping the benefits these Class 4 shingles bring, including a discount on home insurance. Only at FergusonRoofSystems.com.
All right, we are back in business. So, hey everyone, I'm Meteorologist Tuttle. I know it's been a minute. Had some technical difficulties. So, I always find out something new in the tech world when it comes to internet streaming and what can really mess things up. So, turns out that Cox and Uverse from AT&T don't play nice together. In this particular case, there was a customer in my neighborhood that had a Uverse activated. Well, Cox leaves their equipment connected to your home 24/7, right? Even if you're not a customer, that way they can just flip it on with a switch remotely. Well, the problem is these AT&T Uverse guys come in and then they install their stuff and they don't disconnect Cox. And because they share some similar frequencies, they run on top of one another. Well, so what happens is when the customer then starts to crank up the Uverse stuff going on, it back feeds into the Cox line, and then yours truly gets hosed. And I got no Wi-Fi. I got no internet. So what it does is it kills my upload, and I can't broadcast to you at all. And so that's been frustrating. It's been on for 10 days, but the team was here today and a couple days ago. So we've ironed out the majority of the gremlins, and I think we're good to go. So this is our first broadcast as a result. And just in time, because we've got some shower storms to talk about. So, hey, it just so happened, all that happened when it was the middle of a drought and no rain. So it kind of worked out. Anyway, so that's where we are today. So, again, I apologize. It's been a minute, but we're back on track here. What we did have was a really nice sunset. And I just missed it. I mean, I think about 9:15. It was like looking really good, and then now it's kind of on the sunset end of things. But que sera, sera. If you know what that means, it means what will be, will be. So maybe one of these days we can catch a good one. All right, so here's the deal out there currently, and there we go. We've got a cold front that is into the northwest part of Oklahoma onto the Panhandle. Now, it's not a very strong front. It's a weak front, but it is a boundary to kick off some showers and thunderstorms. And what we're going to watch for is some showers and storms to form along this area, and they will develop and push to the east, and they will also develop and push to the south. They're late going. Earlier models kind of jumped the gun and had them developing by 5 and 6 o'clock in the typical, max heating of the day. That did not occur, so we'll look for them to come in the later in the evening here and then the overnight period. So we'll eventually get a little bit of rain with this as everything kind of moves on in. So let's take a look. Here's the big picture. This is a satellite viewpoint, and it shows you a nice cluster of just storms just kicking it up here into Kansas. So these guys are back building along that front. You see this little wispy line here in the satellite imagery? That's the old cold front snaking around. So you can still see a lot of moisture pooling along that boundary. A lot of cloud top starting to develop. So again, that's the beginning stages of what we should be seeing, some showers and storms developing as low level jet kicks in. So that is what we're looking forward to here for tonight. So all is not lost if you're hoping for some rain. It's just a little delayed. Now here's a look at how things are looking for the severe weather aspect. Nothing severe expected tonight, by the way, with those showers and storms. But as we head into tomorrow, could be some severe weather here across southwestern Oklahoma. There's a slight risk there. I mean, far southwest Oklahoma to northwestern Texas. Otherwise, we're painted in the green, which means marginal, which basically means our typical standard summertime storms, which has a little bit of hail and a little bit of wind. And I'll show you what that looks like here momentarily. Let's see. Let's do this. So here's on Saturday. So that shifts kind of east a little bit out of southwest Oklahoma. And this is going to be mostly for the morning hours. All right. our weekend, for the most part, is probably looking pretty good. Friday's going to be our big wet day. Now, here's a look at the drought. And luckily, the storms that we're going to see are going to be really focused over this area in the first wave. And the second wave will come down here in this area. So really, honestly, this is the best pattern to help knock down some of this drought that's been rapidly developing with nobody's permission. Here's a look at how things ought to progress. So we'll go through time here. You see some storms continue up into southern Kansas and then northwest Oklahoma. We're talking late tonight, guys. We're talking, probably after 3, 4 o'clock in the morning if they start bubbling up. And so these storms will be slow to move southward, but they're going to move south into the northern parts of Oklahoma. So they're going to kind of sag southward slowly toward Oklahoma City by, let's call it the mid to late morning hours. In other words, most of the rainfall overnight will be in this area of Oklahoma where you see the blue shading, and then, of course, into Kansas. Now, as we head from that point forward, they don't die out. They kind of keep percolating, and they keep sliding to the south. And then we'll see what happens out here to western parts of the state. Now, this is going to be right around the 7 o'clock hour when these storms out here in Texas start to move to the east. And they'll be pretty stout as they kind of come in. So some of those will be severe. And you see how they move eastward toward the midnight hour here in central Oklahoma for Friday night. So Friday night is our big, heavy rain-making night for central and western Oklahoma, whereas tomorrow morning during the most part of our Friday, it's in northern Oklahoma. So we're kind of split. Now here's a look at Saturday. Residual showers, maybe some elevated thunderstorms kind of still working through in the morning, but most of the upper level energy will be centered here over central Oklahoma in the morning hours and then move eastward as the day goes on. And then the question is we get a little redevelopment in southwest Oklahoma later in the afternoon. So we'll show you that here in a second. So matter of fact, here is a look at the model data. Just kind of came in for that. So here's a look at the storms up to the north and those storms out developing toward the Friday afternoon. So really, honestly, Oklahoma City, in theory, could stay dry most of our Friday into, say, at least the middle part of the afternoon. Then after that, the northern storms will continue to kind of slowly work southward. So can't guarantee you dry weather after that. But anyway, those will move on south and east, and then we've got the storms there for Friday night on a Saturday morning. So there's Saturday morning. You can see how they kind of dwindle and diminish by lunchtime Saturday. So that's what I'm saying. Saturday may be pretty decent for a day, and then we'll see if some afternoon storms can't redevelop here in southwest Oklahoma that move into central Oklahoma around midnight Saturday night. So overnight storms, great. Does it mess with your weekend plans? We can deal with that. They're usually non-severe in those cases, and they do produce some heavy rainfall. Sunday, right now, models are anchored over far western Oklahoma again and up into Kansas. And then Sunday night, whatever's left of those would move east toward Monday morning and then kind of move out of the state. So that's how things ought to play out. So it's mostly late events. So we're salvaging a lot of good daylight hours. So it's not something you have to cancel all your plans. Obviously it's good to have a backup and then, have my weather app with you, AT's Weather to go. You can watch the radar on that. It'll keep you out of those storms. It'll alert you if something's coming your way that you don't want to mess with, all that kind of stuff. Now, we talk about the hail. There is going to be a little bit of hail with some of these storms for Friday afternoon into Friday night. Now, the max hail size on this scale here is about 1 inch to 1.5 inches once you get out here in the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma Panhandle. Otherwise, here in Oklahoma itself, the storms are a lot weaker, so right about 1 inch. So that's borderline severe weather. In other words, a severe storm criteria is 1 inch size hail or larger, so it's right there at the cusp. And then we talk about the wind. Now, this may be a bigger issue, too, for Friday night. So here are the pockets of wind with that system coming in around 50 miles per hour in many areas. You do see the scale go up into the brown. That indicates winds up around 60 to possibly 70 in some isolated spots. So will be a little bit of windy with some of those storms, and we said a little bit of hail, but not a huge severe weather maker. Now, temperature-wise, oh my goodness. Now, if things were to plan out well, I don't think it'll be this nice, but the models are overestimating the southward drift of the storms for Friday. Now, if I'm wrong, they just come barreling southward during the middle part of our Friday and then moving southward during the day, then that knocks us down to 70s for all of Friday afternoon. And then, obviously, then your Friday afternoon is wet. But right now, I'm going with the drier part of that forecast. If I wake up in the morning and things just look different than that, I'll let you know, but that's the way I'm going with for now. Saturday, mid 80s, so actually a pretty decent day on Saturday. Oh, my goodness, right? Let me see, Sunday, let me take a look at Sunday. That data just came in a moment ago. Let's see, and it's got us back into the 80s to some 90s, especially out in the west central and southwest Oklahoma. So not a bad Sunday either. So, a little bit of a break here from the heat and a little break from the drought conditions. Now the rainfall totals with this event. So now this is where things get a little hairy. Remember, this is summertime. Models are terrible at exact placement and timing and amounts. They're guidance on a general scattered showers and storms. And here's your general category of how much rain you could see if you get a lot of training. All right, so that's your take home. If you try to look anything more into that, more details, you're just going to disappoint yourself. All right. So in other words, if I were to see 6 inches right here in Enid, it will not rain 6 inches in Enid. Now, there could be some pockets up there between 4 to 5 if there was a training event and that was the maximum amount that was possible, sure. But it's obviously better to err on the side a little bit more conservative when you're talking about rainfall amounts like that, because it is a lot of rainfall. That could cause some flash flooding. That's something to keep an eye on. But meanwhile, there's a lot of purple on the map, which indicates a lot of 1 inch plus amounts here over central, western, southern Oklahoma. Far eastern Oklahoma, I know, it's not the best, but, don't worry. Because here's the long range outlook. We go out 10 days, all right? So the European model loves 2 to 3 inches widespread across the state. All right, that it does include eastern Oklahoma. As a few more systems come our way, some of those that we talked about on Sunday and Monday, and then down the road. And I'll take a more detailed look at the extended with rainfall amounts a little bit later, but just want to get you through the weekend for now. This model really loves the rainfall. It's going widespread 5 to 6. Now, that's a pipe dream. It's summertime. When you see this, you just kind of go, yeah, it's fantasy. But hey, somebody's going to get 5 to 6. Like, for example, this model likes to show 5 and 6 out parts of eastern Oklahoma, but doesn't have the whole state in 5 to 6. So that's the difference. Sure, you're going to get some of those amounts that kind of line up just right, but the rest of us won't be getting, widespread time to build an ark situation. All right, so that is what I have for you. And so your take home, if you missed all that jazz, you're just now tuning in, you're like, okay, Aaron, so what did you say? Give me 30 seconds. All right, well, first off, wow, that's a lot to cram in 30 seconds, but here we go. Rain returns. It's going to be a pretty decent weekend. Hey, I did that in 5 seconds. But seriously, though, there'll be some showers and storms late tonight. Talking after probably 3 o'clock in the morning, bubbling up northwest Oklahoma and northern Oklahoma. Those will sag southward on Friday. Right now, I'm keeping them out of the metro until, let's call it late afternoon. So if I'm wrong, they'll come in after lunchtime. So you would shave 3 hours or 4 hours off of that. I'm hoping to hold off those so that most of you can get your stuff done. And then they'll come in for the rest of the late afternoon and evening, and then some storms moving in from out western Oklahoma. Those will come in closer to midnight, so kind of get a 1-2 punch. There'll be some areas of Oklahoma that might see some flash flooding. You get some rainfall amounts, or you get a training. Training means storms move over the same areas over and over, really slow moving. Then you can sometimes get 5 or 6 inches of rainfall out of that. This whole round moves out Saturday morning, and then most of Saturday's looking great. And we'll watch for a couple of storms try to get going southwest Oklahoma Saturday evening into the midnight hour. So again, that'll be most of us will already be in bed or doing our nightly things. And then Sunday, well out in western Oklahoma by late afternoon. And then Sunday night, that moves east. So those 2 events for Saturday evening, Saturday night, and then Sunday night, those are mostly after dark and while most of us are sleeping. And then I didn't look past that. I just want to kind of get focused on the weekend for you, other than the fact that the patterns changed a little bit, so we have an opportunity for more rain over the next 10 days, which is good news. And the drought, of course, came roaring back, but this will help to push it back down and squash it. So that's what I've got for you. All right, so let me load up a couple of your comments, suggestions, concerns, rants, whatever it may be. So let me do some loading here. Hold on. Stand by. I didn't load your chats prior to this because I have so much stuff open on this computer. I was afraid I was going to crash it. I only have so much memory. I think I just about used it all. So I'll make sure you guys get to see the broadcast. You know, the important parts first. Okay, so my patrons. Again, thank you for subscribing and supporting me in that fashion. I really appreciate that. You guys are rock stars. So if you support me on that fashion, be a member. You can either do it through Facebook fan subscriptions, or you can do it through Patreon or Subscribestar, or some people do PayPal. I got Venmo on there. I've got crypto on there if you're a crypto nut. You like to play with fake money. Another form of fiat money, which is also fake money. We're all playing with fake money. We're all playing Monopoly, even as adults. But anyway, that's great too. So, and then I just added YouTube memberships. So YouTube just created a membership platform, just like the rest. They're all the same. You just pick whatever platform you'd like to do, because some people like one over the other. So that just got started this week. So if you're interested in that, you can pop on over to YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, hit the word join. You can do it that way. Anyway, so regardless of those platforms, I'll get you on the Facebook private page for my patrons. So there's about 1,500 of us on there hanging out. Okay. Karen, they just got notified late. Oh, that's so terrible. What's that about? That is not good at all. All right, let me go to the main page. By the way, you guys on YouTube, you're awesome. I see the thumbs up. That's a lot of thumbs up, by the way. Some serious thumbing. All right, mute that so I don't hear myself. Oh, Jody just joined. Jody, oh my goodness, honey, that's some seriously late to the party action. All right, I won't hold that against you. Maybe Facebook's just now telling me that you've been there secretly this whole time. Let's see. Coming in from Wynnewood, Amber. Hey, what's the tiger thing situation going on down there? I heard Carol owns that thing now, and she's gonna go bankrupt because that thing wasn't making any money. That whole thing's such a train wreck. I can't wait to see what happens next. Grubs, yeah, Altus, you should be getting some good rain. Rooting for you down there. I know everybody's really excited. It's funny how you don't go with rain for a long time, and eventually you'll get some. Jennifer, right? Good to see you on here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I went to Wynnewood for the Tiger King deal once, talked to him, and we had a great conversation. I just wish I could remember everything we talked about, and I can't. And that frustrates me because I think I didn't put as much into it back then as I wish I had, memory-wise, to pull that out later and go, whoa. Because I did not foresee that all happening when I was talking to him. He was eccentric, though. He was an interesting character. That's for sure. It was just funny. You know how you talk to somebody, you kind of size them up, and you kind of see what they're all about just on a very short conversation. You're just like, whoa, this guy's got a lot going on. That's all I remember. All right. Let's see. Kyle, will sports ever come back? Yes, sports will come back with politics. Everything now has politics. You cannot escape politics anymore. It has infiltrated everything. So I don't know how sports is going to go, but if they could leave that out and just stick with sports, we would all get a break from politics. Please. But I don't think it's going to happen, so we're just going to have to deal with it. Hashtag Team AT. Oh, Jody, you're so sweet. Let's see. You're welcome, Renee. Becca wants the rain. You got it. What's the word on the Sahara sandstorm? Paul's going way down there. Oh, I'm seeing some red on my connection, which means Cox didn't solve the whole problem. It's okay. We'll get it. We'll get it. Okay. All right, moving on. Let's see. Theoretically, if I take my daughter on a road trip tomorrow, which direction would be better to head, or should I pretty much just call it? Jessica. A road trip? Well, I don't know what the purpose of your road trip is. If it's to have a fascinating look at Mother Nature, then I would say go north and show her the pretty clouds and the rain, lightning and thunder. If it's to see some sun, head down south to the Arbuckles. Or you can always go to, Yeah, that's where I would go. Okay. Let's see, James. I missed possible rainfall totals in the metro and Tuttle area. We have baseball tournaments. So, yeah, the issue is 1 to 2 inches. Looks like as long as you don't get any training for storms, there's going to be a lot of 1 inch totals, and there's going to be some places that'll peak up to around 2. If you can get both whammies, in other words, the northern system and the southern and the western system for tomorrow and the Saturday morning. That does not include anything that happens Saturday night overnight or anything that happens Sunday night overnight. That's in addition. We'll see how that goes. But the ground's dry, so hopefully it'll soak it all up. If it's only an inch, hopefully it'll be all right. Steven, who is this Aaron Tuttle guy? We've had a pandemic and riots since we last saw his face. A lot's changed in 1994. I mean 2020. For those of you folks my age, you'll know what the 1984 reference is. I mean, that dude. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. So when I always joke that we're all in a movie. 2020 is a movie, and I didn't think 1984 just kind of butted its head into it. So I don't know what's going to happen next. All right. I think I caught up on everybody's comments, though. Oh, Phil. Oh, come on now. Yeah, I already gave the recap and all that stuff. So just be happy you get a little bit of rain. And I think most of our weekend will be pretty decent getting stuff done during the daylight hours, other than tomorrow in northern Oklahoma. Southern Oklahoma is still some good daylight hours to do stuff in. Metro Oklahoma City is kind of in the middle. I think we'll get our action coming in late afternoon, toward the evening. Okay, so that's it. Now, if I wake up in the morning, it looks like the storms will kind of just keep shoving southward on Friday into Oklahoma City. Around lunchtime or late after, just after lunch. I'll let you know. Right now, let's just keep it after 3. Sherry, Saturday night. Yeah, I can see a couple of storms moving through central, southwest Oklahoma, late evening, around midnight. That's not a done deal, as the upper energy actually moves east during the day on Saturday, and so usually behind that you get subsidence, which is sinking air, and that combats the rising motion. So it's usually a battle, who can win out, and it just depends on how strong the subsidence is versus how strong the heating is. And so models right now are keeping it mostly quiet across state, with the exception of a few storms that managed to go in southwest Oklahoma and then move into central Oklahoma around midnight. So that was about it. Okay, I think that was it. Like I said, apologize for the lack of broadcast. So if you're late and missed it, I had a lot of internet problems that prevented me from getting on here and talking to you. And we just about got them all ironed out. There's still some noise in line. There's a node that's jacked up, and I think it's affecting my upload. It's sending out noise packets or something, because my meter here will turn red when the connection gets dropped or cut, and that only happens when I got noise in the line. So we'll get it all worked out at some point. Got faith. But all right, well, that is it for me, my friends. It's 10 o'clock. Time for you guys to go to bed. Tomorrow's Friday. Woohoo! So enjoy the rain, enjoy the fact the weekend's upon us, and the fact we'll have some cooler temperatures this weekend as well. And if you're really cool temperatures, if you're in northern Oklahoma tomorrow, you'll stay in the 70s all day. Southern Oklahoma, though, you'll still probably hit the low 90s with the extra sunshine. So that'll be the way it goes. All right. Boy, Suzanne must be really late because you missed the whole thing. It's still coming, honey. Some strong language on there, but yeah, it's coming later on this night time in the northern Oklahoma, and then Oklahoma City won't be though until late tomorrow afternoon. So we won't be seeing. I don't think we'll be seeing anything overnight here. If it does, it would be one of those pop-up, brief, tiny showers from a low-level jet interaction. but nothing organized or widespread that could be up to the north. So, all right. I think I'm it. I'm it. I think, yes, I'm it. Tag, you're it. I think I'm done. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so you guys have been great. Appreciate the comments, suggestions. It was good to chat with you. Guys on Twitter and Periscope, thanks for watching there. And again, you guys on YouTube, appreciate you as well. Always feel free to leave your comments. I usually don't have a chance to read them until the end, when I actually have a chance to stop looking at the maps and then try to answer as many as I can before we get out of here. And we'll do some more of these as long as my internet continues to work. We'll see. All right, you guys have a great night. It's good seeing you. Talk soon.